Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about this whole situation with Joesthetics. And the thing is, I did a live on this yesterday. I did a live on it, kind of gave my opinion on some different stuff, and I've seen a lot of people chime in, and they did it on both of my platforms, right? They did it on both of my platforms, both on YouTube and Facebook, of, hey, he was on TRT. All right, and they're trying to make that a factor, but here's what people need to understand. That isn't a factor, and people need to stop listening to these influencers who say that they're on TRT, okay? Because they're clearly not. And we need to look at what the health stuff says in this, because when people say that, it diminishes the health benefits of TRT. I am an advocate for the fact that if you qualify for TRT, it's not that a maybe you should be on it. I am an advocate for almost every man, unless, there's a reason between them and their medical doctor why they shouldn't, that if they medically qualify for TRT, their doctor needs to put them on it, okay? And there's enough research at this point that we know that the health benefits, physical and psychological, are absolutely worth it. And they're worth, in my opinion, most of the health risk, barring special complications. But again, that's between someone and their doctor to determine those things. Okay, that's a medical issue. It's a serious medical issue to think about. But this idea that these people are just on TRT, and I had someone in my comments say, well, so-and-so, like as if we care. A guy who sells con man products, a guy who scams people, selling products that don't work. All right? So again, as if this is someone we should be listening to in regards to this, was saying he's mostly just on TRT. Well, that doesn't mean anything. What do you mean mostly on TRT? You're mostly on a replacement dose of testosterone in your late 20s? And then you look like you're using large amounts of gear? That doesn't even make sense. That guy's wasn't on TRT. And if he was on TRT purely for the purpose of buying a more expensive prescription just so that he could have a prescription to show the police if he needed to, okay, to have testosterone. But there's no way he was, number one, only on a replacement dose of testosterone. Okay, let's be clear there. I doubt he was on just a replacement dose. Number two, there were clearly a lot of other stuff in there. And I think that would be the take home. So even if he was just on a replacement dose, there were a lot of other androgens in there. There were other anabolics in that guy's system. And that is not a minor amount. I don't believe, based upon what I saw, that this was a guy who just dabbled. And people are like, well, he chased the aesthetics dance. Like, no, you don't understand. That guy stayed shredded, stayed dense, all that stuff from what I could see in pictures. All right, to me, that does not indicate throwing just a little stuff in there. Now, could he again have been on a low dose of testosterone? Yes, but that's not TRT. And we need to be very clear in our definitions there. That is absolutely not what TRT means. And again, I see now people repeating it and demonizing something that is an important part of men's health, an absolutely important part of modern men's health. They're now demonizing it because these influencers are just getting, their one legal prescription for the 37 things they are taking. All right, that guy, again, looking a little closer, clearly liked DHT-based substances. That's why he had the look that he had. Okay. What do I mean by that? Because it's hard to distinguish them. Primo, Masteron, Anavar, Winstrol, those sort of things. He clearly had a favoritism towards those things. Okay. And he wasn't that big. No, he wasn't massive. But that's kind of where we look at someone and go, they're not big. Well, maybe they're probably not stacking, tons of insulin and IGF-1 and everything else in their stack and a bunch of nandrolones. Okay, that's where we look at that. But we don't look at the overall, what he looked like, and go, oh, well, that's low doses. No, I don't think that it was. Okay? But let's come back over and talk about the problem with blaming TRT in any way. Clearly he dealt with some type of cardiac event. Cardiovascular system. Some people are claiming an aneurysm. We don't have an autopsy. So again, his girlfriend can claim that, and that's what she's saying, that to my understanding. But she doesn't have autopsy results. So she can't know that. Possible. I mean, possible. But until we see some published results, we don't really know. But to blame any sort of cardiovascular issue on TRT is absurd, because TRT reduces all-cause mortality from cardiovascular issues. Okay? I posted that a long time ago. I did a video on that years ago. They did a long-term study on men who qualified for TRT, and they compared men who went on it versus men who chose not to go on it, who had all been diagnosed with low testosterone. Okay, that is the medical requirement for TRT. Be diagnosed with low testosterone. And what they found was that they had lower rates of stroke and heart attack. Okay? Lower rates. That means it's cardioprotective. That's why I'm like, when people say stuff like, oh, TRT is cheating death. Like, that's such an absurd statement. Okay, you're cheating death? You're cheating bad health? Well, that's positive cheating. Like, that should never be seen as a negative thing. People find a way to take a modern medicine to reduce their chance of stroke and heart attack, to lower their visceral fat, to improve their cognition, to improve their sex drive and mood. If that's what we're calling cheating, then cheating is an amazing, great, wonderful thing. If that is what we define as cheating, then everyone should be a cheater. Okay? I mean, the absurdity of that. But again, it's when people do this, they're demonizing something that is shown to be extremely valuable to men's health. And anyone who's out there promoting that is harming men, you're killing men, and you're a bad person. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.